truly a land of potential. Resources being gathered, everything being put together, farms sprouting up left and right. But my God, is it still ugly. Welcome back. Today I have decided to do probably more than I can chew. I am going to make this area look a little better with actual buildings in the building block game known as Minecraft. Now, there are a couple limitations first. So what I'm thinking is I'm thinking of going for urban building of some kind. I do not know how tall. That is the first limitation. I don't know how it's going to look, and I don't know what resources it's going to take. These are all limitations. But I personally find with these sorts of like urban sort of buildings, once you sort of figure out a pattern of like how things are going to look, it's a little bit easier to repeat it. And if I don't finish it, I don't finish it. That's okay. Like if it's almost done and there's some details missing, that's all right. Or we go until we run out of materials, which is basically what I've already started doing to a building I haven't finished. But I'm going to get started. I'm going to try to figure out some things in the meantime to try to bring this together. So overall plan, okay? Building, and this is going to be connected to said building. This is going to be patios of like individual apartments almost, or like market stalls. And then I want to have a door on this side that goes into the building. Now, a couple things I'm not sure about already. Do I have it be at this level and you go down a floor? I'm thinking no, now that I said that out loud, so scratch that. Building goes up, there'll be a door, like there'll be a doorway in to see all of this. This will be inside somehow, and there'll be an elevator that'll take you up to additional floors that can have more villagers. I don't have them yet. But the task at the moment then is to sort of figure out the basics. Basics of how this is going to get put together. Like for instance, the palette. First concern, I guess, is going to be how do I make a nice floor? The color scheme so far is white and black, and theoretically every color should go with that, but it could also look terrible. I also don't want the floor to stay white as well, because I feel like that'll make it look like that might be a little bit weird looking. So I'm thinking probably is I'm going to do a few testers, a few little tests of different floor colors and see what looks best to me. Okay, so I've made a couple test patches here, trying to figure this out. Thankfully it's raining, which makes it really easy to see what's happening and really easy on my eyes. So looking at the options, right? I think this is okay. It looks like a carpet. A little bit too hotel carpet. I feel like once you expand outwards, this is going to look pretty liminal. Like if you've ever stared down a long hotel floor, like I think that's how it's going to look. I think I've kind of figured from placing the planks that I don't like the planks of any color because it's sort of because the walls are made of that, and it's not often you find that the walls are made of floor or something similar or in a similar pattern. So I'm thinking something that isn't planks. In terms of colors, I like the red, I do like this, and I like this. So gray or red so far. Let's grab some other blocks after picking all of this up, which is a really cool process, and test out some more patterns. I should get a beacon. I should get one beacon. Just for this area at the very least, because this is a pain. I'm realizing how difficult this is going to be to do repeatedly. Do I just stop doing this and go quickly get a beacon instead? And then come back so that when I have to tear up the floor repeatedly or like test designs and repeatedly tear them down, it's a little easier. Because this is something that I do end up doing a lot when I'm building, is like I try all sorts of stuff. I am testing, doing different things and trying to figure out what works. I've torn down whole buildings after building them because realistically I just didn't like how they ended up looking in practice, or something was off about them. So This is something I'm going to do all the time. Go for a beacon. Let's go get a beacon really quick. There is that one nether fortress that I have been to, but I really disliked it. So I'm going to try a different one. I'm going to see if I can go find a different one. I want to see if I could find one that was in a Soul Sand Valley. That would be pretty solid. Generally. Oh, what's this? Oh, another fortress. This isn't the one I'd been to before. Is it this small? This is kind of goofy. It looks a little dangerous. Yeah, it's coated in lava all over it, so I don't really want to... I'm going to find a different one. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Oh. Big chunk in Soul Sand Valley. Ooh. This could be good for me in the future. God, leave me alone. Because basically it's better to build your... When you ever build a wither skeleton farm, you want to build them in Soul Sand Valleys because less of the other mobs spawn in it. But like in this area, like this would be really good. This is my wither protection area. Aha! It's already working. Okay, I think I have one skull at home. Number 2. Ah! Startled me, sir. Oh my god. That's the second skull from here, and I have one at home. So I have enough for a beacon. Oh, withers. Oh, to fight a wither. Okay, that didn't take very long. But now I know where this is. This is future wither skull farm in this area. Huge! That's very exciting. Now, how do I get home? There we are. The fact that I'm so close to a warp forest is actually so handy for getting home. Just being able to see this bright blue or green or whatever somebody with functioning eyes says it is. Okay, that is 3 wither skeleton skulls. So I'm gonna go to the end to do this. Get myself a beacon. I'm gonna be doing this, I know, the lame way, but it'll be helpful for the future because once there's a wither skeleton farm, then I can just have a place to farm withers. And there's a really easy way to do that, so you don't have to do the fight. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. Why don't you go do a legitimate wither fight? No. Last time I just went deep underground and had iron golems fight it. I realized when I arrived I forgot part of the ingredients. Thankfully it's right here. So step 1 is going to be digging under. And alright, that's all it takes to make a nice little wither killing chamber. Put armor on just in case this goes wrong, but this should be fine. That's loud. Perfect. Now, the way that that actually functions basically is just like where he ends up spawning ends up being between bedrock at the base of the portal and this like pillar in the center, and that will trap them. You know, I'm a really big fan of the increased draw distance mods because I think it looks really cool when you're in your overworld areas and you're just like, hey, like have a look at this. Like you can see like all your buildings, your farm's kind of distant. I don't think I like it in the end. That's a little strange. I'm used to this being such an isolating little platform. What's going to happen in the future? I'm just have this like around it. I know that's how the end actually looks. That's kind of. I don't know if I like that. That's weird. All right, I'm leaving immediately. Okay, beacon acquired, but I think I'm gonna throw the beacon deep underground because thinking about it, it'd actually be more beneficial to me to have the beacon up, but also down below, because beacons from wherever the beacon ends up, it goes 50 blocks down into the sky. Right? This guy? Yeah, the whole way up, but only 50 blocks down. So it'd be beneficial to me to have it down low. I'm building with a lot of deep slate, so I'm gonna need this to kind of be low so that I want to take advantage of it in multiple places. So I think straight down from here, maybe? I'm gonna put it right here for now. But then it'll move in the future. So hopefully this goes well. I happen to pick the only tunnel that doesn't have caves in this area. I'll take that. Beautiful. Finally. Singular beacon will do for now. Eventually it will be covered in millions upon millions of beacons. And it will be annoying. But it will be glorious. See, I think this floor is okay, but I feel like, do I have to break up the pattern maybe? Like, I haven't added all the diorite because I don't want to dig it up, but like, is that too liminal, like walking in? Like you'd walk in and just see like all of this. So there's not gonna be torches, there's gonna be lights up top. Maybe that'll pull your eye away from it. Let's try something else. Try something here. That does break it up, but I don't think it does it in the way that I'd like to. It kind of just looks like weird sections. Okay, no. Wouldn't it be funny if we got to the end of this video and I didn't actually like come up with a floor or any other design? So it's just like, oh, what happened in this video? Man tries floor, fails, cries. I don't know why. I feel like floors are hard. Floors and ceilings I find very difficult. Walls, I get those. I look at walls all the time, but floors like in real life aren't that interesting. Like it's just wood. But like in Minecraft, I feel the need to make them more interesting. You know what? I think I actually like this. To break up the pattern. Okay, what if it's more frequent? This might be a bit much. Well, actually, I think this is good. I think this is good, but I think I've also fallen into the trap where a lot of the time when it comes to floor, I'm like, make it interesting. And I'm like, yes. Checkerboard pattern. I've just changed what the checkers are. It does look fine though. Is it giving the same liminal vibe though? Let's see. See what I like more. No, I think for the rest of the vibe, it'll look better with just the stones in the middle and not the whole way through. Yeah, okay, so that's good, but I'm gonna need to get some materials. But this kind of gives me a vibe. This is good for the inside, I think. I gotta figure out a ceiling, I think. But with this, then I can kind of build up the walls and figure that out as well. But I think I need more material. There's no bed there anymore. I need more material. Yeah, maybe that's a good floor. That looks pretty good. You know, realistically, I just like I stopped recording while I was like collecting materials to do this, and I was like, let me just get some of that, and I'm just gonna go hit yes, and just like be like, oh, that's my floor, it looks good. But I also realized what I should do is just like kind of show you. I've done everything. I do everything to overkill. There's no like I needed to get in order to finish this floor to make just kind of get like a quick eyeball on what it looked like. I needed like 6 acacia logs, and I did this instead and got like 5 stacks and a bunch of leaves, and like everything just takes me so much longer because I have this unusual urge that I just have to go extra all the time, and I really didn't. Why didn't I just grab what I needed? I gotta figure out this balcony, this sort of setup here. Figure out what I'm doing. See if something looks good. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, I think this looks okay. I don't know if they look like balconies, but more like the floor. But I mean, maybe it'll come together when the rest of the building goes up, and it'll be more clear. I'll figure that out afterwards. So I guess it's time to just sort of start and see what happens. I don't know what's gonna end up happening here, right? Is I'm gonna like put this together, but I don't know if it's gonna end up being like more like I'm gonna record it, but I don't know if it's gonna be more time lapse or just like little bits. I'm gonna put the prediction now. If it's a time lapse, then I feel like I nailed it immediately. And I started just like going crazy. If you see it in little bits, it's because it's entirely filled with me fucking up repeatedly, and I wanted to hide it. So that's your future insight into my behavior. Lamau. I think one of the things that's the hardest to get used to about making buildings is just the raw, like, time to video content that you actually make. Because, like, in building this, right? I'm not trying to say that, like, this has been a lot of work. Because I've been trying to figure it out. You probably see that I've, like, torn it down. It's not even done. Like, this is still in progress. This is just when I've had the thought. But like in terms of what I've actually completed, the building's not done. I've done a lot. And it's taken a lot of time. But in terms of like what ends up being like recordable, like actionable footage, the return's very low. How do you feel these episodes? I have these up here right now, and in the next section you might see me remove them. So I think it looks pretty good down here. But I needed to oxidize the next step. I don't think that'll look good until it oxidizes, because right now I don't like it. But gone through a few versions of what it looks like up there in general, which has been pretty difficult. Although I am happy with little villager trading area. I wanted to go for something that's like a little like snug, a little claustrophobic, and a little dark. So it has like similar vibes to like my house on the inside there. That's a little bit fancier. But that's kind of how it goes in like these sorts of places, right? Like if I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077, you go to the market to go to everyone else's apartments in your same building. And they kind of look like shit. They're a little bit worse. They're similar, but worse. Because I am the main character. So I get a nicer place. And that's fair. I added another corner villager here because I realized I needed space for the elevator I'm going to put in the back there. I'm going to have to kind of... This will make more sense. I think that this looks pretty jarring at the moment. This kind of just like place. But when I add stuff over going over this direction, it'll make sense. But hopefully something I have actually like made clear in the building of this, just the sheer amount of times I actually end up deleting something I don't like. I went through like 3 different designs for the upper bit because I found that just carrying this on, it looked more like a quilt and not a building. And honestly, at a certain distance from up here, these really detailed bits and stuff, they don't look very good. Like it just ends up turning into slop when you're kind of walking down at this level. Here, I think it's fine because it's like, you know, it's like little detailed stalls or something. These are places you're supposed to look close, just be close up to them. So, you know, the little bits make sense. But all the little bits up there they just sort of wash out and became kind of muddy. So I changed it. The amount of times I've had to just like wander off to get stuff as well, because like, you know, most like professional YouTubers and things, they have time because this is their job, but also they build in creative first, and then they figure out what's going on. Not all of them, of course, not all, but a large proportion of them do, and they're not trying to figure it out kind of just live. I am, and just sort of working it out. But what they can do is they just build it, and they know exactly the number of materials they need. I have no idea because I don't know what materials I'm using. I didn't plan to have calcite in there, but there's calcite now. I didn't have enough copper because I still didn't, so I had to go and get more from the trial chamber over there. I kind of wanted this to be lit up a little better because it was kind of dark and I didn't really know how to do it, so I had these little like overhead like fluorescent lights. Didn't have any end rods. So I went to the end and just went to a random end city. I have 4 shulker shells in my inventory. I'm building a building. Why am I in the end? This is once again, we are continuing with what we are considering a part in the long-lasting series, the neurodivergent experience. It started at birth, and it is conceptualizing in Minecraft currently in my mid-30s. Other thing I'm not sure about is back here. I've built the same pattern all the way around. But I didn't want to make a road back here. I'd rather it just be like kind of part of the hill, but I don't know how low the hill's gonna go. But I'm still gonna have the same sort of building. One thing I'd also thought of, right, is that, you know, a lot of buildings in more of a futuristic theme have signs and billboards and stuff. I don't know how to make those. Maybe that'll be a future project. Try to figure out some like decorative signs. Because I can make a sign that's just like a slogan on it or something, right? Like that's not difficult to just put some letters, but to make some like fancy letters, good looking letters, that's difficult. That's where the difficulty comes in. Right. So I guess I'm gonna, you know, be fucking around and waiting for this to oxidize a little bit more to see how it looks and kind of building up the rest of it and seeing what happens. I'm not sure. At this point though, I think I'm happy with everything except for I'm unsure about the copper up here. That's an easy removal. The rest should be pretty easy to kind of slot in. I'm also thinking I'm not 100% sure on the height yet though either. Actually, when I first made the first like design of the wall, I was like, maybe don't make that too high because I don't like how it looked like already. And I changed it. But I think I'm just gonna keep adding floors and see how I feel. And after a certain number of floors, you gotta kind of like futuristic style, you gotta break up the pattern. You gotta put something weird in it. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm going back to building. We're going to check in a couple hours later. Got a little bit of progress. It looks basically identical from here, but I have worked through some of this side, getting this sort of building bit done, and I have worked on the little elevator. I think there's still a little water elevator that'll you go in, whip, and that'll be, you know, that'll have a top to it, but it doesn't currently, and this will be another floor where I think a bunch of stonemasons maybe in order to get some blocks of quartz and do that. I think that'll be that'll look quite swell in this area. Just gotta, you know, finish it up. I'm realizing that I've built a lot of this, and I'm gonna build like here. I'm gonna have the floor, and there's gonna be the villager stations, right? Same premise, like, as the one. I think that having a matching one down there would be really good. It's not gonna make sense with the windows, and that's okay. That's just how it's gonna have to be. I'd also decided while I was doing this. Oh no, I whacked it already. I decided while I was doing this to add the copper on here. I don't have it all. It's not all oxidized yet, so I don't know how it's going to end up looking in the end. I think it's going to be good though, because I kind of thought while I was flying around, I built the entire thing on that other side, that second floor, and it didn't. It looked empty. It just looked a little empty without the iron bars, copper bars. So now I'm just gonna wait forever for the oxidization, but I think we're looking pretty good. So we're gonna cut to something else in the next day. See what's going on there. I don't know. This is a cool transition. What I ended up doing was I got up and just started building. I didn't know how tall it was gonna be, but I was just gonna build it until I thought it was tall enough. You'll also notice there's some random pauses in this time lapse for several days. That's when I wandered off and did something else. I just AFK'd and just left. We're gonna have a couple days here where nothing happens. That's me just literally wandering away, and that's it. But I just kept going until I thought it was tall enough, and I don't know. This is probably tall enough. I'm gonna pad the length of this a little bit. You know, I recorded a whole outro already. I put it into editing software and realized my mic was facing the wrong direction, and I didn't fix my settings between recording and streaming, so it sounded like I was speaking through a sock. It's Christmas. So we're doing this again. I've been doing editing, and most of the time that I spend editing is removing the long pauses in my own sentences because I apparently can't string together a coherent thought quickly, and removing all of my lip smacking. There's one. I just did one right there. I'm not including that because that's horrible. There's a building now. It's crazy. I'm listening to just pauses and lip smacks, and it sounds like a podcast from the most annoying man in the world whenever I'm editing. Like I'm speed running Ix. I've never heard anything bad about having a real wet mouth. I've only received compliments on my wet mouth, but in a recording situation, it's just lips ASMR, and that's horrible. There's a building here now. I've made a building. Look at it. I think this is coming together pretty well. It's not done. There's a couple things I need to add. A few minor details. I would like to add some grime and some detailing. Maybe say like cracked deep slate in some spots, a little texture, change up some of the slabs in some places so it's a little bit less repetitive. There's also the minor detail up here you'll notice, which is the roof that I haven't finished. But I've literally run out of materials. I'm out. That's it. It's gone. I have nothing left. So that's not ideal, but I think this is good. I just sort of kept going until I was satisfied with the height, and I think that's big enough. That's good. It's a little weird because there's nothing else to like contextualize it. It's just here, but it'll make more sense when we start adding more buildings around. There's still a few more copper bits to wax, but we have our indoor villagers and an elevator up. Whoop. To all of the masons, who I'm in the process of leveling up to sell quartz. Room for another elevator to add more villagers in the future if that strikes my fancy. But this is otherwise great progress. There's things that I need. I use so much deep slate that I need a good, reliable source of deep slate. So I'm thinking tunnel bore in the future. And I also need shulkers. I need so many things. It's rough. On a live stream, made this little pumpkin and melon farm. It's manual melons right now, but in the future I laid it out so that it can be automatic. This is the bare bones. It's not the whole thing, but it's bare bones for a stack shooter. This is something I was working out for some whimsy. The base lacks whimsy. So I have an idea for some whimsy here. This is going to be a future project. And I have an idea to add some life and whimsy with an updated iron farm so that we're not stuck with this forever. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to try it. Hopefully this is releasing on the day that I record this, and that's Christmas Eve, as you can tell by the chests. So thank you for watching. If you celebrate the holidays, happy holidays. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're here, if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm sorry for ruining your Christmas, but that's what I do, apparently. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.